Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhara, Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Guru Maharaj ki Jai, all glories to the assembled devotees. Please accept my humble obeisances. This is Nandapriya Narmada Devi Dasi from Charlotte, welcoming all of you to Bhakti Sanga conference call. I thank everyone for attending this session. Please forgive me for interrupting your ecstatic chanting. I would like to read the 10 offenses to the holy names which are to be avoided, written by Srila Vyasadeva in the Padma Purana. Number 1, to blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their lives for propagating the holy name of the Lord. Number 2, to consider the names of demigods like Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma to be equal to or independent of the name of the Lord Vishnu. Number 3, to disobey the orders of the spiritual master. Number 4, to blaspheme the Vedic scriptures or scriptures in pursuance to the Vedic version. Number 5, to consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be an imagination. Number 6, to give some interpretations to the holy name of the Lord. Number 7, to commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name. Number 8, to consider the chanting of Hare Krishna as one of the auspicious ritualistic activities which are offered in the Vedas as fruitive activities, Karma Kanda. Number 9, to instruct a faithless person about the glories of the holy name. Number 10, to not have complete faith in the chanting of the holy name and to maintain material attachments even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims to be a Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to quickly achieve the desired success, Krishna Prema. Once again, I thank everyone for joining the Bhakti Sanga conference call today. Let us move to our next session, which is Shrimat Bhagavatam class. May I know who all have joined the call this morning?
Hare Krishna, Nandapriya, Narmada Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Vinita Gandharvika Devidasi from College Station, Texas. Wishing you a happy Krishna conscious birthday, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Vinita Gandharvika Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji. Thank you so much for joining the call. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev. Thank you so much. Thank you for your wonderful wishes too.
Wish you a very, very happy Krishna conscious birthday, Nandapriya Narmada Mataji. This is Preeti Vilasni Devidasi from Atlanta.
Thank you so much, Preeti Vilasni Mataji. Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev. Thank you very much, Mataji, for joining the call too. Thank you for your blessings.
Hare Krishna, Nandapriya Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharaj. This is Shama Gauri Devidasi from Charlotte and wishing a very, very happy Krishna conscious birthday, Mataji. Nice to see you today.
Hare Krishna, Shama Gauri Mataji. Then I pronounce, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you for your wishes too. Hare Krishna. Come to the call.
Hare Krishna, Nandapriya, Narmada Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and all the assembled devotees. This is Indulekha Karna Devi Dasi from Omaha. Wishing you a very happy Krishna conscious birthday, Mataji. It's like a double bonanza. Today is Ekadashi, your birthday. You're getting to do service. Oh my gosh. All glories to your wonderful services, Mataji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Indulekha Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev. Thank you so much, Mataji. What a coincidence. Yeah, getting an opportunity to serve on her Ekadashi day and that my birthday. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. This is Arvind Das from Chicago and happy Ekadashi to our devotee. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Vinita Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranams. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for joining the call. Wish you to a very happy Rama Ekadashi, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, this is Balavrinda. Happy birthday, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Balavrinda. Thank you so much, Balavrinda. Welcome to the call, Balavrinda. Very good.
Hare Krishna, Nandapriya, Narmada Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga and all the glories to the assembled devotees. This is Manjri Leela Devi Dasi from Naperville and happy Rama Ekadashi to everyone and happy Krishna conscious birthday to you, Mataji. Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Manjari Leela Mataji. Dandavat Pranams. Please accept humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call. Happy Rama Ekadashi, Mataji, and thank you for your wishes, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Nandapriya Narmada Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. My humble obeisances to all the assembled devotees. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. Happy Ekadasi and happy Krishna Consciousness birthday to you, Mataji. All glories to all your services. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Sushmita Mataji, then with pranams, please accept humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call. Happy Ramaya Ekadashi, Mataji. Thank you for your wishes, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. My humble obeisances to you and all assembled devotees. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Happy Ekadashi Mataji and also happy Krishna Conscious birthday Mataji. Please
Hare,
accept my humble obeisances.
Hare Krishna Parampavani Mataji, then with pranams, please accept humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call. Happy Ramaya Ekadashi and thank you for your wishes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Please accept my pranams. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to the wonderful, wonderful devotees. Happy birthday, Mataji. May the Lord of the heart continue to shower you with devotional service forever and always. Hari Hari Bo and happy Ekadashi. Jai.
Hare Krishna, Sri Shopanishad Mataji, then with pranams, please accept humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev. Thank you so much for joining the call and your wonderful wishes, Mataji. Thank you so much and happy Ramaya Ekadashi to you too. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Nandapriya Narmada Mataji, Dandat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai, Priti Dasi from Charlotte. Hare Krishna and happy Ekadasi to everybody.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Priti Mataji, then with pranams, please accept humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call. Happy Ramaya Ekadashi to you too, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Welcome to Bhakti Sanga conference call. Today we are very fortunate to have His Grace Kamalalochan Prabhuji on the call to enlighten us on the topic of Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th canto, 11th chapter, 17th sloka. And before handing over the call to Prabhuji, I would like to ask Vinita Gandharvika Mataji to go ahead and give a brief introduction.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you so much. Wishing everybody happy Ekadasi. I'm very fortunate to introduce His Grace Kamalochan Prabhuji. His Grace Kamalochan Prabhuji was born in Mysore in Madhva Brahman family in 1973. Brought up in Andhra Pradesh in very orthodox family where he developed a natural taste for inquiry into the mysteries of God creation. Passed out Marine Engineering Research Institute in Calcutta 1994. It's there in college, as a student, he came in touch with a devotee of International Society for Krishna Consciousness. He found that all unanswered questions were completely satisfied in the books of Srila Prabhupada. Still, as an engineering student, he studied Bhagavad Gita 5 times and mastered the Gaudiya Vaishnava Vedanta philosophy in short period of 2 years and was initiated into Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya by His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. He joined as a merchant navy as an engineering officer and worked for 3 years. During this time, he felt the urge of teaching the message of Gita to children and youth who are misguided by consumerism. So he gave up his job and joined ISKCON Mira Road, where he was promoted as Vice President of ISKCON Mira Road within an year, and he's currently serving as a co-president of ISKCON Mira Road. He's also a visiting professor in MS universities for management and social faculties, and also conducts seminars on personality development topics in education and corporate sectors. We are very fortunate to have His Grace Kamalochan Prabhuji on the call. Mataji, over to you.
Thank you, Mataji. Looks like Prabhuji is not yet on the call.
Yeah, we can continue chanting, Mataji, maybe?
Yeah.
We'll continue our chanting until Prabhuji joins.
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gauranga Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare
Rama
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Rama
Krishna
Rama
Krishna,
Hare Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare
Krishna Krishna,
Rama
Hare
Rama Rama Hare Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Rama
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare, Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Ram Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare.
Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Ram Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Ram Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare.
Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivedanta. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare.
Oh,
Hare
Kamal is
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
yeah.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram.
Yeah, Prabhuji is there.
Yeah. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranams. Please accept humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for giving your very valuable time and association to us this morning, enlightening on this topic of Srimad Bhagavatam. Yeah, please take over the call, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Welcome to the call, Prabhuji.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudhirayet Nashtaprayesha Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir-bhavati naishiki. Reading from Shrimat Bhagatam, canto 7, chapter 11, text number 17. Jaganya na uttamam vrittim anapadi bhajet naraha rite rajanyam apatsu sarvesham api sarvashah. Jagannyonottamaam vrittim anapadi bhajen naraha anapadi na bhajen naraha hriderajayan apatsu hriderajanyam apatsu sarveshamapi sarvashah sarveshamapi sarvashah. Word word meaning: Jaganyaha, low, person, na, not, uttamam, high, vrittim, means of livelihood, anapadi, when there is no social upheaval, bhajet, may accept, naraha, a man, rite, except, rajanyam, the profession of Kshatriya, apatsu, at times of emergency, sarvesham, of everyone in every status of life, api, certainly, sarvashaha, of all professions or occupational duties. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. Except in a time of emergency, lower persons should not accept the occupational duties of those who are higher. When there is such an emergency, of course, everyone but the Kshatriya may accept the means of livelihood of others. The occupational duties purport. The occupational duty of a Brahmana should not be accepted by persons in lower social order, especially Vaishyas and Shudras. For example, an occupational duty of a Brahmana is to teach Vedic knowledge. But unless there is an emergency, this professional duty should not be accepted by Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, or Shudras. Even a Kshatriya cannot accept the duties of a Brahmana unless there is an emergency. Then even if it does so, should not accept charity from anyone else. Sometimes Brahmanas protest against the Krishna Consciousness movement for creating Brahmanas from Europeans, or in other words, from Malechas and Avanas. This movement, however, is here supported in Bhagavatam. At the present moment, society is in a chaotic condition, and everyone has given up cultivation of spiritual life, which is especially meant for the Brahmanas. Because spiritual culture has been stopped all over the world, there is now an emergency. And therefore, because spiritual culture has been stopped all over the world, there is now an emergency. And therefore, it is now time to train those who are considered lower and condemned, so that they may become Brahmanas and take up the work of spiritual progress. The spiritual progress of human society has been stopped, and this should be considered an emergency. Here is a solid support from Narada Muni of the movement known as Krishna Consciousness. Omagyavirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manovishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamaiham Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Udapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Upam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sadiva Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sangalita Shri Shakantata He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Sartakanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hariti Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. So in this chapter, Narada Muni is speaking to Yudhishthira Maharaj about Varnashrama Dharma. So while speaking about Varnashrama Dharma, first he speaks about Ashrama Dharma, then he speaks about the Varanas. Now while speaking about the Ashrama Dharma, first he speaks about the Brahmacharis. So while speaking of the Brahmacharis, he says that, see, Brahmachari means very simple. That is, he should be Gurukule Vasandanto Gurorhitam. Brahmachari. That is the work of a Brahmachari. So then, first he speaks about the general principles which are required to be followed by everyone. Then specifically, he speaks about Brahmacharis, Grahasthas, Vanaprasthas, and Sannyasis. Then he speaks about the Varanas. While speaking about the Varanas, he talks about the Brahmanas first. And what is the first qualification of Brahmana? He should have sanskaras. Especially the first three Varanas, Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, and Vaishyas, they should have the sanskaras. They're called Dvija. And all the three are supposed to study the Veda and give charity, etc. And they are supposed to perform the dharma of the four ashramas. Now, Dvija means one who is born twice. By birth, one is born. And then after that, he undergoes samskaras, especially the Upanayana samskara. Sometimes we call the thread, which is worn by devotees who are second initiated. We call that thread as Brahmin thread, but it is not a Brahmin thread. It is called Yajnopavita. It is not just a Brahmin thread, it is a Kshatriya thread also, it is a Vaishya thread also. Because Brahmins, Vaishyas and Kshatriyas, all the three are supposed to wear this thread after a sanskar called Upanayana sanskar. Now, in talking about the Brahmanas, Narada describes, for the Brahmanas, there are 6 duties which are described in the Manu Samhita. That is Yajan, Yajan, Patan, Patan, Dana, Parigraha. Yajan means to worship. Other one is teach Vedas. Dana means here, teach Vedas. And accepting charity. These 3 are for livelihood of the Brahmanas. Now, after speaking about the livelihood of the Brahmanas, it is specifically told that the Vaishyas, they should be engaged in the service as directed by the Brahmanas. And then in the 16th verse, in the previous verse, sometimes it may happen that the Brahmana's livelihood is not possible because many people are not giving charity. Then Brahmanas can do what other occupations, alternative occupations. Known as Shalina means by begging. Yayavara. Shalina Yayavara means begging for one day grain. Shila means collecting leftover grains in the field. And Unchanam means collecting grains which have fallen from the ground in the marketplace and which are left over there, here and there. So somebody may say, why is it so a Brahmana should like this? Only a person who lives like this is a Brahmana. Only a person who lives like this is a Brahmana. There is always a big problem in the age of Kali to identify oneself as a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra according to one's birth. Though birth is one of the factors for identifying one as a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, but that is not the only criteria. It should be supported by guna. You should have the qualities of the Brahmana, then only be called as a Brahmana. And the quality, based on the quality, you work. That is why guna karma vibhagasha. Of course, just by somebody getting the Brahman Diksha, what you call, which is actually known as second initiation, nobody becomes a Brahmana by that. He may have the Brahmanical qualities for which he has got the Brahman thread, but he may not have the vritti, tendencies of a Brahmana. One may have the qualities of a Brahmana, but may not have the tendencies of a Brahmana. He may be having the tendencies of a Vaishya. It is a very complicated subject matter, but very necessary to understand because the Varana Dharma, its position in Krishna consciousness. Our whole society, whether within ISKCON or outside ISKCON also, many people, the whole argument is divided into two sections. Whole society has been divided into two sections based on this argument. Some people say Varnashrama has nothing to do with Bhakti. Just do Bhakti and you just reject Varnashrama. Whereas Bhakti is transcendental and Varnashrama is material, and we are practicing pure devotional service, and we are nothing to do with Varnashrama. Just forget. We just have to follow what Prabhupada said and then practice pure devotional service and go back to God. So this one section of society which says, and their arguments are having a lot of proofs. It is true, what they are saying is true. On the other hand, there are some who say, no, Varnashrama is very important. Without that, they cannot practice a pure devotional service. And that is why Srila Prabhupada said 50% of the work is left over. And many places in Prabhupada has written about Varnashrama, books are printed. Without Varnashrama, whole purpose of the Prabhupada was to establish Varnashrama. When you hear these lectures spoken by those who are pro-Varnashrama, you say, yes, it should be there. On the other hand, you hear those people who say, only pure devotional service, just chant and be happy, forget about his Brahmana Kshatriya, it's all nonsense, it's all Varnashrama and all, it is all Indian influence, it is all Hinduism, and we are not Hindus. You hear that, yes. You feel like that. Totally confused. The whole society is totally confused and divided. Not only confused, it's divided. Now we should have a proper understanding of what Varnashrama is and its position within Krishna consciousness. So before talking about what Varnashrama is, we'll talk about its position because that is the hot topic. Then we'll talk about what is Varnashrama. In essence, Varnashrama is material. Because Varnashrama means division of the society according to Varna and Ashrama, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, Brahmachari, Grahastha, Vanaprastha, and there are certain responsibilities which are ascribed to all these 4 plus 4, 8. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Naham Vipro, Nakarapate, Navi Vaishyo, no Shudro, Naham Marle, Likachapusate, Brahmachari, Raswa, Terva, Utapro, Yamlika, Paramananda, Purnam, Pradar, Jay, Vartu, Pradagoni, Vardasa, Sanudasa. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, I am not a Brahmana, I am not a Kshatriya, I am not a Vaishya. I am not sannyasi, nobody. I am just a servant of the servant of the servant of Krishna. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself has taken sannyas. So something strange. Yes, it is true. Varnashrama is material. And identifying oneself as a Brahmana, Kshatriya, or Vaishya, Shudra, to identify oneself as a Brahmachari, Grahastha, Vanaprastha, and Sannyas. To identify oneself like that is going to be a disaster for one's own spiritual life. But to accept Varnashrama Dharma, it is favorable for Krishna consciousness. So one of the aspects of Sharanagati, which is actually an integral part of Bhakti Angas. Without Sharanagati, chanting is not pure devotional service. Without Sharanagati, hearing, Shravanam is not pure devotional service. Without Sharanagati, Archanam is not pure devotional service. Sharanagati is like the Atma. And for Sharanagati, there is Sadamba Sharanagati, the 6 Sangas. And one of the important Angas is Anupurisa Sankalpa Pratipulasa Varjanam. Accept which is favorable for Krishna consciousness and reject which is not favorable for Krishna consciousness. Now, what is that culture? What is that vritti? What is that ashrama which is favorable for Krishna consciousness? That is Varana Dharma. Because though we are practicing spiritual life, we are having some material responsibilities. We have wife, children, business, spiritual graspas. What culture are you going to accept? You say Krishna conscious culture. Krishna conscious culture means Varana Dharma. That is what Krishna practiced when he manifested his pastimes. So Varana Dharma is favorable for bhakti. That is why we accept it. When situations are very unfavorable for devotional service, only very few can actually participate in devotional service. If you want the mass of people to participate in devotional service and progress in devotional service peacefully, though bhakti is not dependent on a material position, but a favorable material position has to be accepted for the mass to take up Krishna consciousness. Few people, they don't require anything. They just progress in Krishna consciousness without having any material situations going there and unfavorable. They're not bothered about it. They're called nirapeksha. But how we are nirapeksha bhaktas? Completely detached, nothing to do with anything. No. How do you understand that you have nothing to do with this world and you're just completely focused on Krishna consciousness? When you don't feel bad when somebody insults you. If you feel bad when somebody insults you and when somebody is praising you, you feel very happy. That means there is a touch with the material world. One devotee told me, Prabhuji, you talk about Varnashrama, you talk about all these things, of protection, all these things. You talk about so much about why all these things? Why don't you just chant and be happy? Prabhupada gave a simple formula. Just chant and be happy. And I told him, why did we get married? Which was necessary for me. Then why you did not apply at that point, chant and be happy, why you got married? He was quiet. The devotee was, then he asked, why are you doing a job? Chant and be happy. It is easier said than done. Chant and be happy. It is only for few people. So you want to get married, you want to have a job, you want to have not 1 BHK house, you want to have 3 BHK, no, you want to have independent bungalow. No, I don't want just an ordinary car, I want an OD. You have all these things. You want your son to get into IIT, you want your daughter to do MBA. Why don't you just chant and be happy then? No. Only very few can be in the position of just chant and be happy and they have no other requirements. If things come, doesn't come. If somebody is like that, best don't even talk about Varnashram, don't even take the name of Varnashram. So in Krishna clearly has told Chatur Varnyam Maya Srishtam, Guna Karma Vibhagashanam. Of course, ashramas are there. Krishna says Varna. I have created this Varna and ashrama. So since Krishna created this Varna and ashrama, there is a very important usage of that. It is material, there's nothing spiritual in that, but still it is favorable for spirituality. So instead of taking the two extremes of saying no to Varnashrama and somebody says no, Varnashrama is absolute necessity without that. We should have a neutral viewpoint and say yes, understand and accept that I am humble. Accepting Varnashrama is actually an expression of one's humility. You accept that yes, I am conditioned. though I'm practicing pure devotions, please, and trying to practice pure devotions to the best of my ability, but I still I want a favorable condition to me, my family, and the entire society. So that is why this Varana Dharma becomes an integral part of Krishna consciousness, despite of it's not being a anga of bhakti. Srila Swami in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, after explaining all the 64 items of devotional service, at the end he says, I consciously not included the angas of Varnashrama as angas of bhakti because Varnashrama is material, and definitely it is helpful if you practice, if you take up the Varnashrama Dharma. In a house, husband, wife, two children, and maybe the two parents. The husband may be practicing pure devotional service. He may not require, but still he has a daughter, he has two children. He's got a job, he's got some business, he's got parents, his wife. They are not, they may be devotees, but they are not in that position of being completely absorbed in Krishna and just live life according to the way it comes on its own accord. Like Madhavendra Puri. Then what you do? It is for their sake you should do. You should practice the Varana Dharma so that they are in a comfortable position in such a way that they are able to practice devotional service. And not only that, the society, International Society for Krishna Consciousness. The International Society, what is the meaning of society? Society means Varnashrama. And other systems of society other than Varnashrama is only Vanara Shrama. Vanara Shrama. The concepts which are there in the West called marriage. Marriage is a term which is designed for an agreement to stay together for some time, and if they feel like to depart, to get apart, and they file a divorce and get divorced, and after some time they find somebody else, get partnered and sign a partnership deed with other person, and after some time they feel that we are not good partners, then so this is called marriage. Marriage is a legal term, it's a contract. Like two people want to start a business, they come and sign a contract. In that contract itself, there is a separating clause of separation. Those who know companies, how doing companies and how companies function, the partnership of firms, they always have this separation clause. The day they incorporate the company, they come and have a contract. But what is in Varnashrama, when two people get married, is not called marriage. It is called vivaha. It is a sanskara. It is a sanskara. There are sanskars, and all the sanskars are material for with having a spiritual objective. It's a fact that we are in the material world and our consciousness is stuck in matter. We're not at the level of, some maybe among you, maybe at the level of Madhavendra Puri, like gopis of Vrindavan crying in separation from Krishna. And you're not bothered about whether you got your food or not, whether it is, the job is there or not, whether your business is going or not, you're just not bothered about it. You just have to have one kopin and then one chapmala in your hand and be happy. So if somebody is like that, what Varnashrama? Nothing is required. But Srila Prabhupada's compassion, or Acharya's compassion, is not just to accommodate only such devotees who are at the level of Madhavendra Puri. It is for everyone who has got the attachments, the sinful tendencies of attachment in the many years, somehow hanging on to Krishna consciousness. And many are in that condition, and for them, the compassion of Srila Prabhupada that is stressed so much on Varnashrama, so much on Varnashrama. Of course, he told that 50% I left it to you, and there's a complication in understanding it, and also there's a complication, more complication executing it immediately. And also when you read the scriptures, especially Manusmriti and all, you get completely flabbergasted. How to establish Varna and Ashrama? It is not going to be established in 5 years or 10 years or 20 years down the line. Because it took around many generations to destroy it. And since many generations it has been destroyed because of the influence of Kali, not only influence of Kali, the influence of the British, influence of the Mughals and so many people. So it is going to take many generations to rectify it. Come to the platform of Varnashrama, at least minimum to see a glimpse of what Varnashrama is, it at least take 3 generations. But Srila Prabhupada said 50% are left to you. It is not that you're going to do it and immediately get a result. But we have to put one step forward. Put one step forward. And what are those baby steps you have to take? That is the most important thing. What are the baby steps we are going to take to establish this Varnashrama so that the future generations will practice Krishna consciousness in more favorable conditions? So the first baby step we have to take is to set up the ashramas proper, because Varanas are going to be coming from ashrama, because Varana means Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. So a Brahmin boy has to be given birth to make that boy into a Brahmana, qualified Brahmana. So where the Brahmin boy is going to take birth from? A Grahastha. So if you want to bring the Varanas, clarity in Varanas, and to bring out the qualities which are required for that individual to accomplish the responsibilities of a particular Varna, he requires the qualities. And those qualities come by the sanskara of the parents. So parents means, again, you have go longing back to, you're coming to ashramas. So get the ashramas proper. And that is the key. And to make the ashramas proper, you require that person to be trained as a proper brahmachari, because when he is a brahmachari, then only he can become a good grahastha. Only a good brahmachari becomes a good grahastha, because that is said in the scriptures also, that a father of a girl should find out a very good brahmachari to offer and give his daughter in dan, kanya dan. Your daughter is Lakshmi. You have what, say 10,000 rupees, $10,000. Whom will you give charity? Just anybody invited to find out, okay, very good. Take this money, I want to give charity to you. He's a drunkard. Will you give the charity $10,000 in charity to a drunkard? No. You'll find a person who is going to best use that money, then only you'll give him the charity. So your daughter is much more valuable than $10,000. She is Lakshmi herself. And who we should give it to? You should give it to a brahmachari. First practice sense control. Otherwise, he cannot take care of your daughter. So one who has, if you want to really bring out a proper grahastha, you should have a proper brahmachari. And where can the brahmacharis be trained? The brahmacharis can be trained only under the guidance of a guru in the Gurukul, not in the house. So to destroy this Varnashrama Dharma, the Britishers, they put a bomb on the Gurukul system of education. They thought this country is so rich, economically so rich, they were completely flabbergasted. rich in culture, and everyone is self-dependent. Everybody is independent. Today I was talking to a devotee who is doing some research in the traditional way of producing cloth and traditional way of agriculture. Then he showed a survey in the early 18th century. And the British did a survey, the British officers, they said that this country was producing 6 times more grains than it is required for the population. It is producing cloth to supply around the world, highest exports from them. And every house was an industry in itself. Everybody completely busy in occupation. So they thought, where is this coming from? Who? And they identified it is all because of the Gurukul system education, where the children are taught what sense control. Just imagine if everybody has sense control, then how much you can save. All the destruction which is happening in this world because of lack of sense control. There were very few who would not be able to control the senses. And they were taught every day getting up in morning, studying the Veda, and then according to their skills, they are taught how to weave, how to do, how to this, how to that. Everything was taught. And the British thought we cannot rule over this kingdom or country as long as these people are self-dependent. And self-dependency is because education what they're getting in the Gurukul. And there, the Brahmanas in the Gurukul, they would not charge anything. They would teach free of cost and they would live their life according to the dakshina given by the students. Or they themselves would go and beg and feed the students. The education was free. And the Brahmanas just were simple Brahmanas. I just saw this thing, the glimpse of it in my childhood. The Brahmana was so pure that they would just teach. Sarvabhuta hite rata. Their only work was only to see how to teach. And they would be maintained by the temple. I don't know how many of you know, in South India there is something called Agrahara, Brahmana Agraharas. There were Agraharas of the temple. The Brahmanas would stay with the high wife and the children and all. And they were not bothered about their own livelihood because the temple would maintain them. All the land would belong to the temple, and practically those who are cultivating the land would give some charity to the temple. It's not charity actually, the tax would pay to the temple. It was minimum 3% to range in 10% of the producers. And some land which actually belongs to the temple, 50% of the produce goes to the temple, and the Brahmanas would get nourished. If you go to Sri Rangam temple, there's a huge kitchen. It is described in Koyotu. There's one book that talks about the entire temple, how it was. Every day in the temple, 10,000 people's breakfast, lunch, dinner was made. And only for the Brahmanas, they were all concentrating just on teaching. And the Britishers identified, yes, now this is the root cause of our problem and their prosperity. And as long as this land people are prosperous and they're independently prosperous, we cannot do shoshan, we cannot exploit them. So destroy the Brahmanas, make them suffer. If they suffer, then the Gurukuls will be stopped. And we can have our own education system where we teach them how to become clerks. The Macaulay designed this thing, yes. We have our schools, our education system, and then if somebody joins our education system, then only they'll get a job. And the Gurukul should be closed. To close the Gurukul, the Brahmana should starve. So what they did? They took the land which belonged to the temple and then created an endowments department and then registered all the land and all the temples, and the government took over it. And still now we are suffering, the government has taken over the temple properties. The Brahmanas came on the road. At least what happened was there some places the kings had written the land on the name of the Brahmanas, and it continued. And this great lady came, I will not take this name, the Prime Minister, widow Prime Minister. She made a law, everybody tills the land, that land belongs to them. Everybody tills the land belongs to them. And that is how the Brahmanas, you may say, oh, they're all caste Brahmanas and all, but they are doing the job of the Brahmanas, teaching. They all came to the road. And then the British created a communist party and injected this wrong history, a fatal a history which they have written so that they can divide this country. Divide this country into caste. Divide this country into north and south. They injected this venom in some people to spread this venom, yes. And they taught this theory of Aryan invasion. Aryans came, invaded your country, and they wrote the Vedas, and they treated you Dravidians very, very horribly, and they made you lower caste, and they get some work out of you, and they created this caste system, and they exploited you. So drive away these people, drive away these Brahmanas. And DMK was created. Dravida Munnetra Prajagam. And became AIDMK. Now the DMK openly says Sanatana Dharma is like a corona. And those people initially what they went and then went to the houses of the Brahmanas, they threw them off, they killed somebody. Everybody were driven out practically. Most of them were driven out. And of course they had to take some shelter somewhere. They go to Pune, all the Brahmins from Tamil Nadu came to Pune. Many from Andhra. I'm talking about South India because I'm from South India. They had to go here and there, they had to run crazy. Of course, now they made their life, and they spent many of those. They were in US. What they can do, they build a temple. They build a temple. They cannot live without temples. So the crime which the British has done is to make the Brahmana come on the road. And that is why in this verse talks about how the Brahmanas can take up the vritti of a Kshatriya or a Vaishya, but they are not meant for that. So it is the responsibility of the Kshatriyas and the Vaishyas to reinstate the position of Brahmana. I still remember in my childhood, I went to a ceremony. One Brahmana scholar who was a very great Pandita in Ramayana, he was even Ramakatha. He was used to give Ramakatha. Only once a year he will give Ramakatha during Ramanavami. Then memorize all the 24,000 verses of Ramayana, Valmiki Ramayana. He's my very distant relative. Very distant, not. And he had his own matha, would teach Siddhanta, Mata Siddhanta. Only once in a year would come. And the last day of Ramakatha, they used to do Abhishek. Earlier they used to do, like kings would do Abhishek of those Panditas with Kanaka Abhisheka. They would pour gold coins till the head is completely drowned. It is drowned in the and all the thing, gold coins will go to the temple or the matha to run the Gurukul. Just once in a year only, you do a fundraising, that's all. I saw these silver coins. Of course, they did not do gold coins. I was there. I still remember the scene. And with my hands, I had poured at least about 100 silver coins on him. As a child, parents would take it and pour. Asked us to. So when this culture is lost, then what happens? Is this emergency? And why the emergency came? Because of lack of financial support to the Gurukuls and the Brahmanas. So ashrama becomes perfect. Not perfect, at least rectified by brahmacharya ashram. Because if you have good brahmacharis, you have good grahasthas. And if you have good grahasthas, then they produce children. They produce the children with the qualities which support a particular varna. Now people are thinking of varna, a responsibility, what to do, but you should have the qualities to accomplish that responsibility. So Gurukul becomes the basis of all setup of varnashrama. Now coming back to this point, Srila Prabhupada says now it is emergency. Now it is emergency. So you have to preach Krishna consciousness vigorously. By the process, engage everybody in the process of Pancharatmik principles. So that they attain Dvijatva by training. And when attain Dvijatva by training, means Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, of course Shudras. When they become Dvijas, and they'll think of having a proper Brahmachari ashram. Brahmachari ashram doesn't mean you join the Brahmachari ashram at 24 years, age of 24. No, it should be age 7, 8. 7 for the Brahmanas, those who are born in Brahmana family. 8 or 9 for those who are born in a Kshatriya family. And those who are born in Vaishya family, or 10 years, they'll stay in the Gurukul for 6, 7 years. That's all. And those who are born in the Brahmana family, they continue till the age of 25 or so, and then become grahasthas. So those who are born in the lower Varana, until there is emergency, they cannot take up the occupation of the higher Varanas. That has to be achieved. When it will be achieved? When the higher Varanas, or especially the Brahmana Varana, they are taken care economically very nicely. And there is an opportunity for them to execute their responsibility. Yajanyajan patan patan dana parigraha. Of course, there is no other hope for the world other than Krishna Consciousness movement. And it is going to happen one day or the other. And as we see the congregation is increasing around the world, I am so happy that, yes, 20 years back, no much congregation was there. It was only just visitors to the temple. When I joined, it was only just some visitors, some congregation here and there, 25, 30 years back. But now you have plenty of congregation. That means Krishna wants that this congregation, when they get their sons and daughters married in Krishna consciousness, and they have their Vivaha Sanskar, Garbhadana Sanskar, and then produce many, many children, and who are devotees and eating prasadam right from the womb. Wow. Right from the womb. Such children are the future. where we can think of establishing this process of Krishna consciousness around the world with Varnashrama as the basic culture. Then, in that position, there is no emergency. How long will the emergency continue? You cannot wait for emergency to continue. Emergency cannot participate. There cannot be a perpetual emergency. Srila Prabhupada talks about emergency. Yes, it is emergency now. But that emergency cannot be perpetual. And that is what Srila Prabhupada says, I left this 50%. That means he did not want emergency to continue perpetually. Within just next generation, in the next 25 years before I die, maybe, I don't know how long I will live, but still in the next 25 years I can see, yes, there will be education system, the Gurukula education system, where intelligent boys and highly influential parents would be standing in line to get their sons admitted in those Gurukuls. It is for sure. It is going to happen. Because the chanting the holy name, and holy name gives rise to everything what is required for the progress of Krishna consciousness. So this chanting will bring about everything, including Varnashrama, which makes situation favorable for people to chant Hare Krishna. So you stop here. Any questions, please do ask.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. So beautiful class, Prabhuji. From the beginning, you gracefully mentioned what is ashrama and what is varnas, and then what are the dharmas in each ashrama and varnas, and then you mentioned how, like, brahmana, what is the importance of brahmana, and how varnashrama leads to saranagati. What's the importance of varnashrama, that each leads to saranagati, and which is important for progressing in the Krishna consciousness, and how later Mughals and Britishers creates like havoc and destroy this the Brahmana Varna, and then like created this emergency situation, and now our Prabhupada came to actually restore this system back to its like normal conditions. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. If there is a hand raised from His Grace Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji, can you please go ahead with your question?
Thank you very much, Parambani Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji. Hare Krishna Prabhu for fantastic class. Kamalochan Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, can you just clear my doubt? This Brahma Bandhu, there is a word. When is Brahma Bandhu?
Called Brahma Bandhu. When he is born in a Brahmana family, but he doesn't adhere to the principles of a Brahmana. Ashwatthama is a Brahma Bandhu. He was born as a son of Dronacharya, as a Brahmana. But what happened? He took the side of Duryodhana and he was so rustic, and he wanted to kill Parikshit in the womb. He killed the Pandavas, the 5 Pandavas. So it's Brahma Bandhu. Like that. A relative of a Brahmana, but not a Brahmana. Like that.
So not behaving like a Brahmana. He's behaving like a Shudra.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much, Prabhu. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for your question. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for the answer. Prabhuji, there is a question from Radha Jyoti Mataji. Actually, 2 questions. Hare Krishna, His Grace could you please accept my humble obeisances? Is it possible for you to mention the name of the book about the Sri Rangam temple and how it was in past? And could you please teach more about the tendencies, how we can identify and take action to correct it? Hare Krishna.
I could not get that Sri Rangam temple. What is it?
Prabhuji, she wanted to know if there is any book or any references that talks about the Sri Rangam temple, how it was in the past,
Okay.
or any history, as you mentioned.
Oh, there is one book called Koil Odugu, which talks about the entire history of Sri Rangam temple, the administration, the invasions, the wars, the French and the British fighting, keeping Sri Rangam as a fort, and Tiruvannamalai temple as another fort, and the Kapur coming and destroying the Brahmanas, killing the Vaishnavas, all. Kovil means temple. Odugu means history. So there's a temple. That is and then about tendencies, more about tendencies, how we can identify and take action to correct it. Okay, first action is to have a Gurukul where we train the brahmacharis and boys who are born in very high-class families in Sanskrit, English, mathematics, science, and arts. Vedic science and arts. Of course, we'll train them to be competent also in their, to crack these, what are the examinations are there. So we require, so that these children, they get up early in the morning, they're away from all kinds of nonsense information coming in the internet. So once they have preserved their this power, young boys, at the age of 20, 22, they have their own gurukuls. Basically, it boils down to training. If you see these days in the schools and colleges, there's no training of control of senses. Just imagine if they don't have control of senses, so much of promiscuity, so much of mixing of the boys and the girls, watching so much of all illicit sexual activities in the internet, pornography and all. What kind of protection they will have? What kind of children they'll produce? All crazy. So that's the first step. When you achieve that first step, then other steps can be taken care. Of course, that's also not easy to just start it, but at least we can think of and how to support it. Because to do Gurukul, you require a lot of funding, a lot of support. So I always talk about this, but ultimately people say we have other priorities. But of course, mission will never die. Mission will continue. A nice peaceful land, and a nice infrastructure, and very highly paid teachers who can teach Sanskrit, who can teach Veda, who can teach high class English, lingua franca, with proper grammar. Unfortunately, these days children are not even taught English properly. They don't know even to construct proper sentences. And then, so these are the first steps which you can take. So at least this boy, when he gets married, and the girl, when she gets married, they have not developed any affection for any other boy or girl at the age of 12, 13, or 14. So that when they unite, they produce nice children. So that's the first step. That itself is Herculean. Of course, we never thought 25 years back that we'd be having so many Bhagavatam classes around the world through internet, thousands of devotees being nourished and hearing Bhagavatam. It happens, isn't it? It's happening in this forum. I'm completely becoming so amazed that sitting in America every day, you're dedicating time to hear Bhagavatam. Could not imagine 25 years back, 30 years back. But it happened. So what we cannot even imagine what I'm saying. Many of you cannot imagine when it will happen or not, but it will happen. This is the first step. Okay.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I have a follow-up question with it. Like you mentioned that like qualities and tendencies both are important to be identified in one varna. Like if one may have the qualities of Brahmana, but his tendency is to work as a for example, Vaishya in the management or any kind of business oriented things. So Prabhuji, how like one like how one can in personal level can improve his tendency and get a like what do you call balance or kind of like I'm out of word, like get a nice collection of qualities and tendencies that are like comprehensive to it,
Understood.
not like
all the qualities are described when we know there is lot of premixing between young boys and young girls, because that is called Saucham. Saucham means cleanliness. Cleanliness means purity of heart. When there is no purity of heart, then all the qualities are destroyed. So first is sense control. And that just cannot come just like that, okay, on the book, okay, today I'm sense control. It has to be trained. Everything requires training. The sense control training is called brahmacharya. Say the girls, they are there in the house, or they maybe have a small set of a small school where they are taught chastity, not to talk to the boys. And the boys are taught not to flirt with the girls. It starts with that. Without that, if there is a lot of premixing, where can you expect good qualities? Where you can expect good qualities? So that's the beginning. Of course, once that is there, then depending on their tendencies, they can be given training and then expertise, either their knowledge, values, and skills. Okay, we stop here. This is an unlimited topic. There's no end to it. But at least everybody as responsible devotees should contemplate on it. Okay, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. There is one more question from Sukumar Prabhu, Sivakumar Prabhuji in the chat. Do you want to take that question?
In the chat.
Yeah.
Here's a chat. Harish Prabhu, you discussed about the touch of material world, that we live in this world and cannot altogether reject on the strength of spiritual practice. Now, some earlier lectures, the devotee should always consider challenges, especially mercy. Yes, we are in the world. That is the challenges that are coming. If you're in the spiritual world, where is the challenge? And the challenge should be considered with spiritual Krishna's mercy. Definitely, it should be considered Krishna's mercy. That the internal progress can only come through raising about duality. Yes, internal purity comes to raising about duality. So to raise about duality requires strength, and for that you require a favorable circumstance, and that is why Varnashram is required. Can you share some guiding principles as to when we can take on challenges in sadhana, against when we should adjust externals. See, externals we always adjust. Adjustment means tolerate. You cannot change the situation of this world. You just have to tolerate it. And that's called, that strength to tolerate comes from spirituality, spiritual life. That is why, as I told, everything can manifest by chanting Hare Krishna and studying Bhagavatam, including Varnashrama, including everything. So that if when you tolerate, when you are progressing spiritually, at the same time endeavor to have a situation where the further generations have a lesser challenges in spiritual life, they can progress faster. That doesn't mean challenges will never be always there. But that doesn't mean you don't do Vaishnava Seva. Like for example, there is a devotee who is having a challenge that he's not able to chant, but still is trying to chant because he's coughing and coughing and coughing. And now, oh Prabhu, he's having a great challenge and the challenge also is coughing. But it is your seva to the devotee that you give some medicine or do something, help him in this way so that his cough reduces, he can chant nicely. Just I'll give a very, very crude example. That is your Vaishnava Seva. Like every generation, they always think of how to do good for the next generation. The same way, that is your service to the next generation. So just imagine if the proper disciples have not worked hard, you would not enjoy these beautiful temples. If you don't work hard for establishing Varnashrama, then the next generation will get the benefit. So this is called service. The service to Krishna, establishing Varnashrama is seva to Krishna. Okay, that's what I can say for now. To stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Shri Prabhupada ki jai.
Dear devotees, please let's offer obeisances to Prabhuji. Pancha kalpatarubhyascha.
Panchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhu bheva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Anantapuri Vaishnavavritti Shri Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Bhagavatam ki jai.
Jai.
Kamalochan Prabhuji ki
Jai.
jai.
Jai Ho!
Jai.
Gauranga!
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Nityananda!
Gauranga, Nityananda.
Nityananda! जय जय श्री राधे श्याम सबको मिले वृंदावन धाम
Jai Sham.
गोवर्धन गिरधारी लाल की जय हो मायापुर नगरी धाम की जय हो